Alright, what's going on, beautiful people of the internet? This is Cabjoy from the Friendly Alliance podcast you might have seen from the Australian scene down under. I'm here to talk a bit about what I think we should be asking ourselves about the day one hints about the upcoming patch. Now, obviously, I'm not at home. Unfortunately, I couldn't be at home. All of these announcements were made overnight for Australia, so I'm sitting in my car before I go into work, trying to just rattle off some thoughts while I can. So what I will say is that you should check out Mitsumo's videos. He's already gone through and kind of just given a brief overview. But what I want to just quickly talk about is just to bring in some questions that I think we should be asking ourselves, because obviously we don't have every little bit of information. We have some changes we can be aware of based on the gifts that the staff at NetherRealms have released. But I think there's some other things we need to be considering. So I'm just going to go through a couple step by step and talk about what I've been trying to think about and what the potential changes might do to the meta post patch. So first things first, the alien nerf, where his tail now has hurtbox, which can be interrupted with normals, or in this case we were seeing that Grandmaster's clone actually caused him to freeze. So my thoughts on this are that that's definitely necessary for alien. My other thought is this going to be a universal change? And are we going to be able to whiff punish other characters with, weapons or just extended invisible hitboxes without hurt boxes? So things like Devora's jump 1, Melina's back 1, 2, Takeda's whips. That's a big one for me. Like, are we going to be able to actually interrupt those in startup if we're standing like 3/4 screen throughout a normal and bat his whip out of the air and then punish him for it? Like, it's interesting. I think it's going to inadvertently buff Grandmaster, as you could imagine. Suddenly matchups like Devora are actually going to be probably in GM's favor, assuming nothing else changes, and assuming that these are universal changes. So we'll see, closer to the date, whether this is going to be some kind of universal change, or if it's just too alien in this instance. But we'll see, who knows. So the next thing, the gift with Reptile and Cassie, where we saw EX Puddle is finally, or EX Acid Spit is finally useful. It's going to act like Caltrops, which I think a lot of because I used to play Reptile for a little bit, and I think a lot of the Reptile community really thought that's what it should have been doing from the start. So that's finally happening. We also saw Reptile use his EX Flip, which no longer launches, which is an interesting point. And then the other interesting point is that EX Claw no longer launches. So Cassie's back one just beats it outright. Now, the interesting thing is, later in a comment thread on Twitter between Pig and I believe it was Tyler mentioned, wait for the broader context of changes with other characters and it'll make more sense. So I think they've purposely shown us two different moves that were armored launches and how they changed. First of all, Claw's not launching it, doesn't have armor anymore, which makes me think that potentially armored launches are out. And maybe the EX Flip still has armor. Maybe armor still is a thing. EX Flip still has armor, but it no longer launches. Unfortunately, Cassie didn't throw out a normal when the EX Flip came out. She just kind of stood there and ate it. But it looks like, based on what they're hinting at, armored launches might be out. And this is interesting to me, because this is kind of an idea that we played with, I think in our last episode of the Friendly Alliance, which was probably about a month ago now. Myself, Gilbags, and Cassiel spoke about the armor meta, what we like, what we don't like. And this is one of the things that I kind of mentioned, that maybe it's just armored launches that need to go out, but based on the offense and the current state of the game, we still potentially should have some armored get off me moves. So think in lines of Ermax armor moves, right? They have a hit of armor, they get you off him, they do about 14-15%, and that's it. They don't launch you for a crap load of damage unless EX Teleon wake up. That's like, whatever, that's not really a thing. So now, if armored launches are out, we have to start thinking more about the turn-taking meta, which is more in lines of conventional fighters, think Virtual Fighter, think DOA and stuff like that, without having to worry as much about, holy shit, are they respecting me enough? I don't know. I could potentially eat 40% because I'm not reading their armor. So we'll see what happens there. And this, to me, carries on to the next gift that they released, which is really interesting, about Katana's. This isn't in chronological order. This is just in order of what I think my thought process was. So next is Katana's reversal DP into EX float. So we saw Katana just use reversal DP, cancel in EX float, and then go into jump in punch into pressure. But we all know Katana's pressure is whatever. Who gives a shit, right? So she can use jump in punch out of the float. So they're treating it more like Kenshi and Imposter's teleports now, I suppose. Letting her get a jump in punch. Is that only off EX float? Who knows? But what's important, thinking back to what I said about Reptile, she didn't use EX DP into EX float, so it's not like you're sitting there trying to pressure her when she's knocked down and have to think, shit, she's going to EX DP and combo me, or if I block it, she's going to EX DP into EX float and then pressure me, which again, whatever. She's spending 2 bars. But either way, she might not even have access to EX DP. And if she does have access to EXDP, it probably doesn't even have armor if they're changing armored launches anyway. So that means if you let her DP into EX float on wake up, you're blocking, getting her off the bar into her fake frame trap throw pressure, basically that's it, or forward 2 or back 3. So, you know, again, who cares? Or you just meaty the shit out of her, and if you get hit, it's your own damn fault. So I think that's another interesting change that potentially could be blown out of proportion in a few different ways. And then moving on from that, we've got the change to Cryo Sub-Zero. This is super interesting to me. They've given Cryo Sub a command grab. And the command grab looks to be the end of the forward 4-2 string that he has currently, which he can now cancel and hammer, blah, blah, blah. But does this mean he no longer has forward 4-2 throw as it is in its current state? Because we've seen this with other characters like Warlock Quan Chi, for example. Never used to have portal scoop. It used to be part of a string. Then they took it out of the string and gave it to him as an actual standalone special move. So maybe Sub now has Grandmaster's forward 4-2 1+2 and Unbreakable, the forgettable variation. Maybe they all have the same forward 4-2 1+2 string now, and Cryo can only get that command grab conventional stab ender out of the standalone command grab. He's not going to be able to do it on the ground, right? He's not going to be able to do whiff punish with forward 4-2 command grab into combo. You would only be able to do forward 4-2 EX freeze or some shit like that, right? Forward 4-2 EX freeze, jump in 2-4-2 forward 4 command grab or something like that. They're going to have to be in the air. And then the other thing is it still going to be 2-in-1 cancelable like it is in its current state? Which I think, if it's not part of forward 4-2 1+2, I think it probably will be cancelable. Whereas if they keep forward 4-2 1+2 as cancelable and he also has a command grab, then there's no way in hell. There shouldn't be a way in hell that they let him 2-in-1 cancel the command grab as well as the string, because that'd just be nuts. So now he's got this other thing going on with the command grab, which is, you know, gives him offense, but who knows what he can tick it off. I saw Undead Jim make a tweet which made me laugh about, you know, is the mix-up going to be down 4 command grab or down 4 slide? We'll see. Who knows? Either way, they're probably both going to have a gap, in which case, maybe we'll still have an armor to get off me move or something like that. On another quick note regarding if there's no armored launcher, potentially backdash is going to be more valuable in the updated state of the game. You know, instead of having to think, shit, are they going to launch me with armor? Are they going to backdash or are they not? If you read the backdash, you chase them down, you get the punish. But if they read your backdash chase attempt, you throw out a normal and you punish them for running in. So it's another dimension to the meta. But going back to Sub real quick, sorry for that small side note. So who knows if he's going to be able to cancel and hammer off the command grab or whatever. Who knows what he's going to be able to tick it off. Is he going to be able to do, you know, back 3 tick or something and then back 3 EX command grab to guarantee on hit or block like the other command grabs at the moment? Again, thinking about the armored launcher changes, does this mean he doesn't have armor on burst anymore? Which a lot of people currently think is an absolute bullshit move. It is pretty damn good. Or is EX burst just going to knock down? Who knows? So that was one of his better defensive tools as a character who has fairly poor defense. But maybe now he's got reversal command grab with armor on it. Who knows? And also in the tweet, along with that, Paulo mentioned Kung Jin wasn't ready to counter the command grab. So again, we're talking about potential no armored launches and other changes along those lines. Maybe the counter is going to be some other way to blow up gaps. So if Kung Jin's not ready to counter the down 4 command grab, is he not ready to counter the down 4? Like, are we going to get like DOA counters or something? Is he not ready to counter the down 4, or is he not ready to counter the gap between down 4 and command grab? That's my thought, but who knows. So next up, we have Molina, who now needs to burn meter to launch off the roll, which is, I think, a good change because she always has meter anyway. And keep in mind, if you're still trying to play piercing, like the piercing footsie game, and you don't want to spend meter, pretty sure back 1, 2, 1+3 already does about 16, 17, 18% anyway. So a lot of damage if you do the follow-up, which is kind of in lines with characters like Jax, like Shinnok, and Grandmaster, other characters, meterless damage mid-screen. And I don't think it makes that big of a difference, especially considering how fast she builds the meter. It just means that she's not going to be able to break 3 times in a round, or have the threat of X-ray, which, you know, is an easy hit confirm into like 45% off of random telly kick or something like that. So I think that's a good change. My curiosity is, how's gravity going to affect it? So we saw the decreased launch height off of the first part of the roll. Is that going to be consistent no matter where in the combo? So if you decide to spend the meter, you'll get the launch, but then after the second roll, the gravity takes effect, and you may or may not be able to follow up. In that case, her corner combo is going to be insane because she can build up all this gravity and then normal roll to a similar launch height and then follow up the combo or something like that. Or maybe it's none of these things, and if your gravity is shit, you'll roll, try to meter burn roll, and the meter burn roll just won't actually connect. So that'll be an interesting thing to think about as well, but I think it's going to be a good change without, again, depending on how else the game and the character changes, a good change to her without butchering her, just making her less of a meter hog than she already is. So next up, Tyler posted something about Johnny's EX fist bump and said he was thinking about posting another GIF, but cancel that. Here's this. So Johnny's finally got EX fist bump. You know, the fact that he used the word cancel, maybe that means you can cancel into / out of it. Maybe along the lines of Flame Fist Liu Kang's flame buff. So we'll see what happens there. Don't really have too many other thoughts on that. Bo's Star Spin now blows up projectiles. Maybe we're going to see more projectile invulnerability on things like that as well. Potentially good. Maybe they're thinking, you know, certain characters may have used the armor to get through zoning. Now they don't have the armor to get through zoning or something along those lines, so we'll give them something else. It'll be interesting to see how that pans out. And then we have Cutthroat Kano, back one in... Yeah, Cutthroat rather. The back one string potentially doesn't come out on block. We don't actually know for sure. We just got shown that back one's punishable. If the string can't come out on block, so you don't get the safe overhead launcher on block, can he still special cancel back one? Like, can he just do back one into buff, or back one into down back one, or back one into EX knives? Maybe, who knows? And then along with that GIF, we also saw Cyber Sub-Zero use Forward 1-3 Ice Ball. Truth be told, all of these GIFs had no UI, so there's potentially things going on that we don't know about. And I mean, it would be a pretty big troll, but I wouldn't be surprised if Forward 1-3 Ice Ball doesn't actually combo. Like, that would legitimately make me laugh a lot, but Cyber Sub kind of needs it to be somewhat viable in the footsie game. So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully, you know, for the sake of Cyber Sub players, Forward 1-3 Ice Ball is the thing again. If not, we'll see what else changes. Now, with that, that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. I'm sure I've forgotten some things that I wanted to mention. And I'm sure many of you will agree or disagree with a lot of the things I've said. So let's just use the video as a platform to talk about it more. I'll probably post this on TYM. And we can use the comment sections either in TYM or in this video or Discord, Facebook, wherever you talk to me, or anything, Twitter, everything. We can talk a bit about these, and I'll probably update with another video after the next day of GIFs and see what we might be able to learn. Maybe some of the clues we get tomorrow will completely invalidate some of the things that I've said today. Who knows? We'll see. So thanks very much for watching. When we do finally get the patch notes, Gilbags and I will be talking about all the patch changes and what we think that means for the meta, as long as we get the chance, and we'll try and upload that the day we get the patch notes, so the video's up before everyone gets the game. But we'll see. So again, thanks for watching. Make sure to post your thoughts. If I've missed anything obvious, let me know and we'll talk about it some more in the comments. Thank you very much.